Hey y'all, this is Nisha LaShawn.
This is Renee.
And this is the Shawn And Renee Show. Today, we are talking about Elmo.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Elmo did their post?
Yes, on Twitter. Yes.
On Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, hey y'all, I'm just seeing how y'all doing. And then everybody went to therapy in the comment section.
Let him have it.
Elmo said, I just want to see how y'all doing.
I need to know all of this.
My Lord. Elmo went, Elmo was like,
I know y'all was going through this. I just asked how y'all was doing.
That was such an iconic moment for Elmo.
Yes, it was.
But more importantly, I think it just showed how much people just needed to be seen.
Correct.
Not as employees, not as their titles of like mom, dad, whatever their title may be, sister, brother, cousin. They wanted to just be seen as a soul that needed a hug.
Yes, that's all that was.
That's all that was. They needed that hug so bad.
It was like a community hug because everybody's like Elmo, I done had a rough day. And it just went from there. Like, Elmo, my kids, and it was...
Baby need a new pair of shoes.
It was a therapy session. I know Elmo was on the other end like... Wait a minute. I didn't know
it was that deep. But I tried to implement that in my own life.
Absolutely.
And sit with myself and say,
how you doing?
How you doing?
Yep.
How you doing?
Shout out to Wendy.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Free Wendy.
Free Wendy. ASAP. Free Wendy.
ASAP. And check on myself. And not give myself a generic answer, because we can give ourselves a generic answer.
Absolutely.
And lie about how we really feel.
Absolutely.
It's a coping mechanism.
It is.
We do that in order to just keep the ball rolling, and it's suppress.
So we won't be mentally breaking down every 5 minutes.
And then you get to that point to where you just explode because the milk spilled.
Yes.
Even though the dish rag is right there.
And you slide down.
Listen, that milk spilled over. You can't take it.
And you slide down to the floor just in tears.
So, how you doing?
I am here.
Okay.
That's a fair assessment right now, because in my life right now, being a Black woman, and this here united. I don't know how long we're going to be united, but these Americas that we currently in, I'm here. I'm present. I'm aware, and I am doing the best I can. I'm going to just say that. Now, I'm not faltering to any degree, I'll say, but I'll say I'm here, I'm present, and I'm paying attention. How are you doing?
I think I'm not here.
Okay.
I think I'm on a whole nother planet.
Okay. That's
a
fair.
whole nother stratosphere. I am not connected. I am not plugged in.
Okay.
I am not here.
Okay.
I love the disconnect for me. I love this for me. Because I lived a life so connected and like so present, so here, so like into it. What's the politics doing? What the economy doing? What the job market doing? Like what the housing market doing? Like I was just in that thing. And one day I was just like, you know what? Not one day. I know the exact day. Inauguration day.
Yeah.
I said, you know what?
Let me check out.
I could just leave this party. I don't have to be involved in this. There is an element of like delusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because although mentally I have not paid attention
Mm-hmm.
and be in tune with every single little bit of news or progress,
Mm-hmm.
I do understand I have to be aware at a certain point.
Right.
I got to check the weather. So when you check in the weather, you come across some other stuff too.
It's as simple as the weather.
It's as simple as that. If I say, is it going to rain today? Oh, yeah, this is also what happened at, this international meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I didn't want that part. I just wanted the weather.
But thanks.
Right.
That may be God just like still tipping me
like, hey, I know you didn't
I know you don't own it, but I gotta give it to you.
Just so you know. Yep.
Just so you know.
Yep.
So I appreciate that. But I also am excited for the phase I'm in right now of giving myself like that mental break and being okay with just not being connected.
Right.
And being a little selfish with that because it's almost like you abandoning your community when you're not active and like, no, for people who are usually like active in that thing. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna let you in on a secret. We didn't have to have no meeting. We didn't have to have a final call. We didn't even have to send a hootie hoo out. Everybody is doing what you're doing. Like, even though I am, and the only reason why I am staying aware, I'm not participating, I'm staying aware is because of my job.
Okay.
A lot of stuff affects hospitals. So we need to know, because it was just a shooting at one of the hospitals in the parking lot here in Detroit. So I have to be aware of what's going on. And, politics, I see, I'm like, oh, yep, they did something stupid today and keep on moving. But I just stay aware just because, I just want to make sure that I'm not in harm's way. I'll say that. And then on that too, like I said, we didn't have a meeting. Nobody sent a signal. We just knew. Actually, people just stopped on November 7th. It was collectively agreed upon.
We spiritually connected through the ancestors. Yeah,
we collectively agreed upon that we wasn't gonna do nothing. They've been protesting, setting Tesla on fire, doing the most. And you know where we been at?
At the crib,
at home, at work. We go to Meijer. I can honestly say, but that's because my OG's been hitting me up like, okay, we are boycotting this. We are doing this, and I'm like, I'm with it. I ain't tripping long as I can go to Meijer.
Yeah.
Long as you tell me I can still go to Meijer, Thrifty Acres, I am cool. But,
That's where you draw the line.
Hey, Meijer all I got. You done took Target. You done took Walmart. Walmart and Target. Y'all done took them away. If you take Meijer, all I got. Meijer 50 acres is all I got.
Meijer, what's your politic? Because that's all.
Meijer is Michigan run and they union based. Hey,
that's all we can add.
That's all I got. So, I mean, when my OGs ask me to participate, I do, just out of respect for them. I don't expect nobody else to, because I know they are boycotting Amazon, Target, Walmart, Kroger. They going down the list. Costco then seen the biggest boom because a Costco they just built a new Costco and it opened near my house. And Costco, when I say the parking lot be full,
they be on packed. Jam.
I mean, they taking it as a personal challenge to make Costco has one of the best years financially ever because they exercising their dollar. So I think you are in a safe place. Sometimes ignorance is bliss because right now we're in a chaotic. It's like I remember the first administration.
Yeah.
The first time we had this administration,
it was real goofy.
It was goofy then, but this time they found some people that were smarter, but yet still goofy with them to come along this time.
You can tell this is like a revenge tour.
Absolutely,
it's a revenge tour. It's like I'm going to get you, sucker.
Yes.
I'm coming back not to manage the country.
No.
But to go after all of my enemies.
Absolutely.
That's so sad.
And it's exhausting. And my thing is, for you to be this vindictive and this evil, you live a miserable life. Like your life is misery. You don't wake up in the morning with a smile on your face because all you thinking about is revenge. Your existence is misery.
I disagree with you on that.
You think so?
Because in order to live a life of misery, you have to have some kind of element of a soul. I think these people are soulless.
Okay. I'll give you that one.
Because you have to have a soul to be tormented in that way. I think these people are straight up void.
Okay.
They are subhuman.
Okay.
When you get to the point to where you're able to be in that position of leadership, there is no higher position of leadership.
Right.
And look amongst the people and see nothing but
collateral damage.
Collateral damage.
That's it.
That is it. All of these people can fall by the wayside. If you don't fit in this multi-million-dollar bunker,
you're collateral.
You are just like
collateral
waste.
And I want to take this time out to tell every other country, we love y'all.
We don't have no beef.
We ain't got no beef with y'all. We just are subjected to deal with this administration. We did not collectively all vote, and we not be like, when I get my plane ticket to go wherever I want to go in the world, I'm gonna be cool. Just let me in. If you by chance want to offer me citizenship, just let me know what I need to go to stay with y'all. Direct me in the areas where I can get a job.
Can I spend the night?
Can I spend the night? All I want to do is come over and spend the night. That's it. I ain't gonna cause no trouble. I just want to eat good food. I just want to hang out and have fun with the locals.
I want to eat food that's not killing me slowly.
Exactly. I just want to kick it. So I just want to collectively say to other countries, it's not all of us. And I know that in Canada especially, they know it's not all of us. And I'm glad that the Prime Minister and everybody up there agree that they know it's not all of us. But at the same time, these people gotta do what they gotta do.
They gotta do what they gotta do.
They gotta do it too.
It's one of those things. So we sorry for y'all. We sorry, but
we gotta do what we gotta do.
You're gonna get this work. Y'all voted this man in.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of still suspicious of that.
Me too.
I don't necessarily think the way it turned out was the way it was literally.
Correct.
There was some finagling, but I'm not even going to get into that.
We're not going to fight against it. We here.
Yeah, I do consider myself a spiritual person, and I do believe in prophecy. I do believe you cannot outvote prophecy.
Correct.
I do believe certain things of disaster has to happen.
Absolutely.
In order for something greater to come out. I do believe there was a lot of people in this country who didn't think fat meat was greasy.
Correct. And that FAFO is on hyperdrive.
And what I mean by didn't think fat meat was greasy, they really believed that their skin color
was going to protected them from oppression. Correct.
And although this country is
historically
racist, dripped in racism in every single system that we have, I think it's been a shift to where economics is now on the forefront.
Absolutely.
And racism has taken a back burner, maybe a back seat, like a passenger seat.
I think it's riding shotgun, but
riding shotgun. I think economics is in the driver's seat.
Absolutely.
And racism is now shotgun.
Yep.
And for those people who forgot that if you are poor, it don't matter.
It don't matter.
It does not matter. But I also remember there was a time in this country to where we have documented occurrences where white people have cut off their own arms
to spite their face,
just to make sure they had a group that was oppressed below them.
Correct. But right now, that's not happening.
They wanted to, because I think that's why some people made that vote. They wanted to make sure there was still some type of caste system, that it was still, I'm going to cast this vote because I don't want to be the bottom.
But in true fashion, it's happening to them.
Oh, he showed them up. I'm just saying prior to now, like 2025, I think prior to 2025, in their mind, I don't want to be the bottom, right? So I'm going to blame South Americans. I'm going to blame Venezuelans,
Mexicans.
I'm going to blame
Haiti,
all these other places. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
Oh my God.
I'm going to blame all these people, as opposed to saying, you know what's really happening? This is really about money.
It's economics always.
It's economics. This is not about skin color. This is not about, like, the grand old goal is economics.
It's economics.
Making sure that 1% still has their position.
Right.
And they're using you all as pawns.
Absolutely.
To put the poor against the poor.
Right.
And in order for them to do all the running around, make all these moves without you noticing.
Right.
Because you're so busy staring at the wall south of the border.
Right. And the thing about this FAFO that I am enjoying is that they thought that Black people were going to be hit the hardest with it. And we've
actually learned some things over the years.
Our ancestors prepared us.
Yeah.
And what they didn't realize while they was doing all their hating and all their racist acts and just thinking we would survive, we've been all along bettering ourselves, building our own companies, getting educated. Because Black women across the board are the most educated people in this country.
We managed to stay busy.
We managed to stay busy. So it's not happening at the rate, because when everything was first going down, I was seeing so many videos and I was kind of perplexed, and they was like, well, why aren't Black people out here protesting? Why aren't Black people being more vocal about what's going on? Why isn't Kamala doing anything? Baby, what? What you mean? What you want us to do? We went and showed up and showed out at the polls. What y'all wanted us to do? Now that y'all decision, or if it was altered or helped along, now y'all want to, we at the house. We minding our business. We minding our Black business, working our Black jobs, running our Black countries, and minding everything related to our families. It's like we stepped up before. Our ancestors, from when they first got here to now, we laid the groundwork for all civil rights.
We benefited the
least. We laid it already. What more do you want us to do?
What do you think that was? Because we've had this conversation before. You just talked about how we laid the groundwork for civil rights, how Black people pushed the agenda of equality. Why do you think immigrants that come to this country and they see it as the land of the free and the opportunity and blah, 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 why do you think they ignore that element of their rights? Like, I don't think a lot of them understand when they get here, you can't just hide away, do your job, not be seen, collect your check, and then that's it.
Right.
Why do you think they're like collectively hesitant to get on that same bandwagon as Black people when it comes to standing together for like the civil rights of it all?
I think it's twofold. Because you have people who come here illegally, and then you have people who come in legally. Now, the people who come in legally, I'm sure they're told like it's due process. You can't just fill out your paperwork and they be like, oh, next week you got citizenship. It's a process.
It's a long, lengthy,
expensive process. So it's twofold. So they are told, and I would hope, because I haven't researched it enough, maybe that's something we should do, research what's the process and what they're taught. But I don't think they're taught what groundwork was laid for them to be able to apply for citizenship. I don't think they were told or even shown videos or given research to show Black people from the time we touched down what all we endured, because every time it's brought up, what are we told? Get over it. We weren't responsible for that. That's not going on now. But had those people be told what was going on from the time we touched down to now, maybe it would give them a different perspective on all the civil rights and everything we had to go to get here. I mean, we got millions of museums. Oh, if we hold on to them, because Cheeto head trying to get rid of them, but I digress. But anyway, you know, we got museums and we got historians and stuff to educate people, but I don't think the undocumented people are told that. They just trying to run away from whatever they're running away from just to get here. They just know when I get here, somebody gonna hire me and keep me safe, and I can go work for $4 or $5 and I can feed my family and all 12 of us can stay together and blah, blah, blah. They're not being taught that as undocumented. I would hope people who are legally trying, but I even doubt if they're being told that.
We need to get in contact with some first and second gen immigrants to see what is the general consensus about the civil rights movement and how they're responsible for being a part of it once they
are here.
Citizen. Like, you have to get on the Black and brown bandwagon.
Because it's like an orientation at work.
Yeah.
It's really that, because if they're not told when they get here, like, you have these rights because in the 50s and 60s, Black people did this, that, and the third.
And kept doing it.
They won't know. Because who are they going to identify with? Who have they historically identified with once they get citizenship? Right. So they're not being told. And then when it's brought up, how many every years, and they're shown like, we should have listened to the Black people. Well, we don't be talking to y'all just to hear our own voices. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got better things to do than to tell you. Like, if I'm telling you, like, hey, this is like this because we had to fight and die in the street and get pistol whipped and fight dogs and water hoses and be turned away from nasty food at counters that we probably shouldn't have been at in the first place. I really
want to ask, because they have this imagery of what America is.
Yeah.
And they have this idea of what they'll be able to achieve once they get here, right?
Right.
So if you're able to find that information out, to understand that this is a land of quote unquote opportunity, adjacent to that, you don't see the information of how it got to this point, like the underbelly of it.
Absolutely. Why would you think the federal government would give them that? Why would they make that public?
I'm just thinking in the sense of, like, now people have access to the internet. There's so many movies, documentaries, like, it's so documented. So if you were able to see the good, how were you not able to see the bad and the ugly? That's the question I've always had.
But you got to look at it like this. Internationally, do people really be checking for us?
Internationally,
we are an anomaly, and like I won't say a fetish, but I'll say a fetish sometimes when they think about Black African American people. We're like a unicorn.
Little eyeballs.
Yeah. Nobody really checking for us. Like, it's different with Africa as a whole, as a country, as a continent. But us specifically, you have to think about it. Nobody checking for us unless we are making our presence known.
If we're not coming to the country to entertain you, then
and then they just see the wealthy athletes, the wealthy entertainers, the wealthy it's no parallels where they should think, I should look up Martin Luther King or I should look up Medgar Evers. It's never the parallel when they got Will Smith or LeBron James or Snoop Dogg coming. It's no parallels there.
Why look up Franny Lou Hammer when Beyonce right here? Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
So it's just like, I feel like I don't think, and I could be wrong, and I'll take accountability if I am wrong, but I don't think internationally people are checking for us. If it's not hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Now, we have often been imitated and duplicated, but it don't have the same sauce. Because I seen some Asian kids doing HBCU moves on like they do at the foot.
Do we have to talk about it? I don't want to talk about it.
We ain't got to talk about it. I'm bringing it up.
Okay, I don't have the word.
We skipping by it, but I'm just saying.
Thank you, because this is a check-in right on my mental. So I don't want to talk.
Okay, I'm just saying, but I'm just thinking, like, internationally, do they like check on like somebody like me and you?
Okay,
we have to think about that.
Okay, I get it. So, with all that being said,
yes,
it's a lot happening right now.
Oh, yes. It's chaos every day.
It's so much chaos, and we have access to so much information in so many different directions.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to withdraw.
Disengage,
withdraw, give yourself a break.
Yes.
If at a certain point you want to take 12 months and all you think about is the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, it's okay. Because right now I'm thinking about an Easter egg hunt.
Hey, I want somebody to make me an Easter basket while you playing.
Easter egg hunt. And then after that, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do for 4th of July. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I said, oh, Labor Day going to be Christmas. Mm-hmm. All that other stuff.
Yeah.
The nuclear bombs and,
the planes falling out the sky.
The planes falling out the sky.
The planes.
Evil villains shaking hands and meeting.
Oh, my God. And grinning and skinning in each other's face.
And grinning, like dictators.
I reached the level of myself that I didn't know I had inside of me when I was cheering on President Zelensky when he was standing his ground in the White House. I said, you better tell him you ain't going. You was not kissing the ring. Why am I like this? Why am I cheering on this man?
They need to be cheered on.
I was just like, you better stand your ground. You ain't kissing the ring.
Is that when he was talking about why Elon Musk stood all up in the business and how they're an independent branch and we don't take orders from y'all? And
when the reporters say, why you don't have on a suit? He's in a war. Why would he show up in a suit? He's at war. He came in his Levi's and was like, hey, is this money gonna keep coming or what? I'm in the field. You're not in the field, Mr. Reporter. I shouldn't have to cheer on President Zelensky, but I was cheering on President Zelensky and I was proud of him like he was my uncle. But I digress again. But yeah, I'll say this. I've been praying for peace, and when you talk to the Lord and he be like, you sure? And I was like, yup, I need peace through this whole situation.
Yeah.
And he's been giving me that. I can say that for sure.
So I started praying consistently about it last fall. Mm-hmm. And I think I had text you guys, my besties, about like, I'm not feeling good about this election. Mm-hmm. I feel like Kamala is going to lose. Mm-hmm. My discernment, like my prayers are like, I'm getting the dreams, I'm getting the visions that it's not going to go our way. Mm-hmm. She keeps saying stuff that's triggering, and I don't think it's going to work out in our favor. At that point in time, y'all was still like, oh, we kind of have hope. And I was like, the Lord done told me.
I mean, you got to keep the hope.
He told me.
I'm going to keep hope and faith every time.
So at that point, I had shifted my direction. And I was like, you know what? I need to change my prayer. Instead of my prayer requesting that it go my way, I need to pray how to navigate the situation.
Correct.
What decisions need to be made now that the situation is coming.
Right.
And peace. Or whichever way it go.
Peace.
Because once through prayer, I got the word that prophecy has to be fulfilled. Mm-hmm. It gave me a little bit of comfort to say, okay, you know what? Yeah. You're right. Because some people needed to see this happen.
Oh, yeah.
Some people was in denial about how bad it can get.
Yeah.
When you hear people on social media and they're talking like, oh, the Holocaust happened this time ago. It can happen again. Oh, why not? Who said that?
It can very much happen again. Tomorrow.
Who said that? Why can't it happen again? Because they got all the material, racism, oppression, power, money, and the material to put a cage around
Absolutely.
And the land to do it.
They can use Guantanamo Bay right now.
Listen, it's some farms in Colorado that can
absolutely
put us, like
in Texas.
I'm just trying to figure out why people are so confident saying history cannot repeat itself.
It absolutely can.
That's where a lot of my frustration comes, because we have documented history.
Yep.
You read it, consume it, and see the patterns.
And they said Hitler took over Germany in X amount of days.
He took over Germany in X amount of days. But guess how long the propaganda?
Yeah, it had been brewing.
It had been brewing
for years. Same with what was going on right now.
Years.
Since 2016.
And you know, when you cooking something and it gets to that perfect simmer, it's like a slow build, and then it gets to that perfect simmer.
Absolutely.
And when it got to that perfect simmer, all it took was a matter of days to seize and take over.
Yep.
Y'all are letting the pot simmer. You're letting the pot simmer. And that's what's so frustrating to me. And that's why I have to disconnect, because my brain is like, we know the rules. We know how this goes. We know how it can happen.
And we told y'all.
We know how it can happen.
And we told y'all. That's my whole thing about it. We told y'all. So, like I said, I'm cheering on everybody that's getting in the field, because the media is not covering it. These protests that are happening, I'm only knowing about it because of social media. They're showing that they're protesting at different places and they're doing different marches. Please go. Where I'm gonna be at
the crib.
I'm gonna be at home, because I did my time. I did my time the first term.
Yeah.
The first term, I was very active.
This not our fight this go round.
No.
This not our fight.
No, this not our fight. We need the rest of y'all to save the country this time, because the first time he was in there, I was holstered, ready. Pow, 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 pow. I was ready to. Now?
No, we chilling.
God done gave me the peace. And I wake up with a peace of mind every day, even though I'm witnessing some of the chaos. So God, it's in the Bible. He didn't say the weapon wasn't going to form. He said it wasn't going to prosper.
You may get some nicks and bruises.
Yes.
Or whatever, but that's why I'm like, some things have to come to pass.
Yeah.
And I have to take comfort in that, knowing that it has to go through its process.
Right.
And hopefully this wakes a lot of people up.
Absolutely. I think it's happening like daily.
It's happening daily. Wake a lot of people up to get them to understand, no matter how much you like or dislike me.
Right.
The color of my skin.
Right.
Where I come from.
Right.
We got to stick together.
That's the bottom line.
We have to stick together.
That's the bottom line.
But for now, don't ask me shit.
Nope. I'm at the house.
Don't ask me
I'm at work. I'm at Meyer. Minding my business.
Minding my business.
Because this is one of them things where we say people got to learn the hard way. This is the hard way.
People got to learn the hard way. So at the end of all of that,
even though you on a different planet and I'm on a different planet, it's okay. I'm
still good. I'm enjoying my vacation.
It's fine.
You know, I take the time to pick out my flowers at Trader Joe's.
Hey.
Without a worry. And then I sashay to the wine section and I say, hi, hello there. And
it's nothing wrong with
And then I go to like the little baked goods and I'm like, what would I like?
Would I like cookies or brownies?
Cookies or brownies. And then I go to the register and my card works. And it goes through. And I have the funds to pay it. So I feel blessed.
Yes.
The fact that I'm able to go to Trader Joe's, get what I want, come back home, the light switch comes on.
Yes.
I have hot water. I have food. I am happy with it.
And you have a vehicle to drive yourself around in, funds to put gas in the vehicle.
Yes.
Yes. It's the simple things right now for me.
I have eggs in my refrigerator right now
that I can afford to go. And even though they $7, them my favorite eggs, and I can go get them
in there right now.
Right.
So I'm not worried about.
Yep, my eggs cost $7, $7.49 to be exact, but I can afford to get them. Praise God for a job.
Okay, hallelujah.
And for income.
Thank you, Elmo, for checking on that.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Elmo. We know that you were unloaded on unfairly.
Emotional dump.
But baby, when you ask them type of questions, you gotta know that the people are going through.
The people going through.
The people is going through it. And he dare not ask that question again, because baby,
his inbox, what them DMs look like. If this is what he was getting on the timeline, you know that the inbox was tight.
And the minute somebody be like, Elmo, I need to move in.
Somebody asked him for $40 in that direct message.
Yes.
I need $40, Elmo.
To next week.
Man, my rent late.
Right.
They was definitely asking for rent money.
Right. Right.
For sure.
So I just need, Elmo, don't ask that question again.
Not if you don't want a real answer.
If you don't want a real answer, because there's some real things going on right now.
For sure. Well,
we thank y'all for listening.
Until next time.
We'll see you.
Bye.